Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darcilyn, and today I'm going to be singing Amazing Grace. This version is by Loretta Lynn, um, and it's kind of just a warning. It's going to be a pretty long video. I just have a few things to say, and it's gonna touch on some of the current events that have been happening in at least America, um, and it's not going to be a very pleasant video. Just so if you are listening and all you want to hear is the song and not a bunch of political crap underneath afterwards, then you might want to stop after the music is done. So yeah, it's just a warning. So here we go. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay, so that was Amazing Grace. That version was by Loretta Lynn. So before I get to what I want to say, just I don't know, trivia, I guess. I don't know if this is true. I think it is, but this song was written by a slave ship captain who took slaves from Africa to the New World, and I'm not sure when it was hit, but when he was hit, but he was hit by the Holy Spirit or by God or whatever you want to call it, and his eyes were open to the horrible practice of slavery, and so he quit being a slave boat captain, and I believe he became a monk or priest or something. I don't know if all of that is true or what, but it's a good story. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite. I guess gospel songs, but okay. So there are a few things I'd like to touch on. First, I'd like to say that I am sorry to hear what happened in Barcelona. And I hope that the people of Barcelona hang in there. And I apologize again for America's president and how he responded to that tragedy. Um, it wasn't presidential at all, and it was barely humane. But just so you know, we all here are sorry for what happened, and just know that our prayers are with you. And I guess the next thing to talk about is what everybody is talking about, and that's what happened in Charlottesville. And this is just, kind of my take on it. And so here goes. Our president, God, I hate saying that, but he is our president, has repeatedly said now that there are both sides to the story, and both sides are to blame. And from what I gather, the alt-right, which I hate that term, but the group of people who associate with neo-Nazis and the KKK and neo-Confederates they put on a march in a protest march in Charlottesville. And I'm guessing that they were, protesting what people like that always protest, and that is the equal rights and equal rights of all people. And they were, spouting crap like, white people are better and superior and all that horrible stuff. But and from what I know, I haven't really been able to read a whole bunch about it, because every time I do, I get really emotional. But from what I understand, I guess when these horrible people were marching, another march happened in retaliation, and it was people marching against these hateful people. And I don't know if they did start, I don't know if the people marching against the fascists were violent, or if the fascists started the violence, but I don't care. I don't I don't care if the people who were against fascism and against hatred started the violence. And I know that's a big statement. And I realize that one of the most beautiful things about America is that we do have freedom of speech, and we have these laws that allow anybody to say anything and to voice our opinions and to be able to protest against our government and against things that we find wrong. And that's great. It is. It's wonderful to be able to do that. And unfortunately, those laws also protect some of the worst human beings ever. But during the march, people died, including when a car ran into a person and killed her. And what I find appalling is that I hear about this actually a lot lately. It seems to be a common, I don't know, a trendy thing for terrorists to do, run over people with cars. And what I find disturbing is that nobody is calling it terrorism, because it happened because a non-Muslim white guy did it. It's not terrorism. It was just an act of violence. And the thing is, these people, neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates, KKK, white supremacists, and other misinformed groups are terrorists. I don't, there are no other words for them. They incite hate, and they cause horrible things to happen, but because they are white and because they are not of a minority religion, they aren't called terrorists, but let's call it for what it is. It's terrorism. And they aren't alt-right. They are racists. They're not political. They're just hate. They represent hate. And I find the hypocrisy of our attitude toward them, I find it almost as disturbing as the people themselves. I saw this image, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm trying really hard here. And I saw this one image. There's been a lot of images, but this guy was holding a flag, and it was the United States flag, or it had components of the United States flag, and it also had components of the Nazi flag. And I find that symbol to be one of the most disturbing symbols that they could have used, in my opinion, because the Nazis were responsible for one of the worst things to ever happen in modern history. And we, our soldiers, the people sworn to protect our country, they fought and they lost lives and they sacrificed themselves to stop the Nazis. And the thing is, many of those Nazis back in the 40s, many of the soldiers, especially the lower ranking soldiers, were so ashamed of what they had done, of what they had participated in. They were so ashamed because they knew that it was wrong, that it was a horrible ideology. And I've read stories of soldiers and people who participated in the Nazi. I've heard stories of them never forgiving themselves. And I've heard stories, and everybody's heard stories of what happened in the Holocaust. And not just Jewish people. It wasn't just Jewish people. Yes, they were a majority of them. But they killed so many people. And they were trying to take over Europe on a platform that was pure hate. And the people now, it's inexcusable. That kind of ideology and that kind of thinking does not belong in the America that I grew up in. America has always been, there's always been racism here, always. Of course there has, we're human. But to see this happening on our streets now, out in the open, it's beyond unacceptable. And to have our president to come out and not right out say that these people are wrong is inexcusable. He has given permission. He's given them permission to do this, to run around filling the world with hate. And I don't really know what to do about this. I feel so helpless and so incredibly ineffectual right now, because I feel like I have no reach, that I cannot touch any of this, that I can't fix it. But I can do this. I can record a video and I can tell you that this is wrong. That there is no other side to this. This is a group of people marching in America that are Nazis. Nazis, people. And we need to fight this. We cannot just sit back and say that this is okay. We can't let this happen. I am not advocating violence. I'm not. We do not need to have violence, but we need to stop this. And we need the president, or if not the president, somebody higher up to come out and condemn these people. They need to just go back to their silent hatred. Because it's there. I know it's there, but the damage is done when they give power, when they are given a voice. And we cannot let them have that voice. So do whatever you can. Post a video condemning this kind of behavior. Donate money to anti-hate groups. Go on marches that protest these fascists and these racists. Do something. Don't just sit on your ass this time. If there is any part of you that thinks that this is abhorrent and disastrous for our country, do something, anything, please. Okay, so that's it. I'm sorry about the long video, but I needed to say this. And I just, yeah. That's it. I'm not asking for likes other than, share this video, even if it's just this part of it. I'm not asking you to share the singing part. I don't care about people listening to me sing. I want people to know that I am against this, and I want you to fight against this too.